China's deflation strikes. Is it not far away to have enough to eat? Is there no remedy for unemployment in China, and does the party media article reveal the mystery? Has the party media brainwashed and overturned the car, leaving young people angry at the CCP's door? Unemployment among young people in China has always been high, and now there is news that Tesla is planning to lay off 500 people. The CCP media, People's Daily, specially published a signed commentary article, urging young people to establish a correct outlook on employment, but unexpectedly it completely overturned, triggering criticism and counterattacks from many young netizens. Why do party media articles arouse public outrage? Why does the unemployment problem prompt more young people to see through the CCP system as the biggest threat to their future life? The Chinese Communist Party officially announced the latest economic data for June. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, and Producer Price, PPI, showed zero and negative growth. Has China really entered deflation? In addition to downgrading consumption and life in China, why may there be a food shortage of not enough to eat? In this episode, we discuss with you. A young man breaks down and scolds Xi Jinping in front of the police, asking, "Why did China become like this?" Young people in China's social environment are under a lot of pressure, and they generally feel hopeless about the future. On July 26, a video from Mirror Weekly went viral. In the video, it was suspected that a young man wearing glasses had a nervous breakdown in front of several police officers at an identity check office in a public place, showing extreme pain and despair. He yelled at Xi Jinping, "Why did you make China like this?" The man also knocked on the inspection table frantically, crying to the police, "Can you arrest me quickly? I'm about to die." The young man cried desperately, "Otherwise, if I don't do this today, I will regret jumping off the building someday." The man turned around and picked up a plastic stool, hitting his head hard, causing the onlookers to scream. At present, China's social environment is deteriorating, and young people are facing tremendous pressure in education, work, employment, and childbearing. The unemployment rate of young people has repeatedly set records. According to an estimate by an associate professor at Peking University, the unemployment rate of youth may be as high as 46.5%, leading to a sense of despair and disillusionment about the future. The current buzzwords such as lying flat, putting down, and four unworthy youths are enough to illustrate the despair of young people regarding the Chinese authorities and social reality. Four unworthy youths means that young people do not fall in love, do not get married, do not buy a house, and do not have children. According to an official survey in Guangzhou, the number of four unworthy youths has accounted for nearly 10% of the total population of the same age. Some people even extended the result of the four unworthy youths to call them peerless beauty. On July 27, a woman in a video on the National Renaissance Network said that this was the most tragic and decisive revolution and resistance in human history. She claimed to be a peerless beauty who had no mortgage, no car loan, and no next generation. Since she followed the concept of four things are empty, meaning not working, not buying a house, not getting married, and not having children, and since the exploiting class cannot be eliminated, she decided to self-destruct and perish together with the exploiting class by cutting off children and grandchildren. I never expected that the Chinese nation, which has gone through disasters for thousands of years and has not been wiped out by any external force, would be completely destroyed in my own hands, said the woman. She described this generation of Chinese youth as the most staunch, bravest, let it go. Since the powerful combination of power, capital, and technology is no longer invincible, she declared, "I will stop revolutionizing and resisting, and I will self-destruct together with my descendants. What can you do with me?" Youth unemployment has no antidote, CCP media brainwashes overturn. Do you know what are the sensitive words that make the CCP most nervous now? It is unemployment. However, news of large-scale unemployment occurred in the past recently. Tesla's Shanghai factory is planning to lay off some employees in the battery department, and it is estimated that about 500 people will be laid off in one go. Although Tesla did not explain why it was laying off employees, the big news of layoffs by this well-known company has once again pulled the sensitive nerves of the CCP. Because the current official unemployment rate among Chinese youths exceeds 20%, but the actual unemployment rate may be above 30%. Moreover, at this moment this year, more than 11.58 million college graduates have entered the workplace to find jobs, which will inevitably expand the problem of youth unemployment and make the Chinese Communist Party has been troubled. Therefore, the CCP media, People's Daily, published a commentary article on July 10 called, "Establishing a Correct View on Employment." Unexpectedly, this article was overturned on the internet, and there was a serious propaganda failure disaster. Why? Let's see what the article says first. This article is mainly aimed at young people who have not yet found a job, so the subtitle at the beginning said to young people, "Going to the place where the motherland and the people need it most will not only leave a youthful memory without regrets, and you will gain spiritual wealth that will be used for life through the training at the grassroots level." Sounds stereotyped, right? It's the same as when young people were asked to go to the mountains and go to the countryside during the Cultural Revolution. Next, the article said that young people should be more pragmatic and look for jobs based on the expertise they have learned, not what job you want, but to match the conditions and needs of the social environment. Therefore, the article said, for young people such as college graduates, the key is to find the combination of my strengths and the needs of the society, maintain a plain mind, look at personal conditions and social needs objectively, and choose careers and jobs based on reality. To be honest, there is nothing wrong with this passage, but why did it still overturn? We'll see. Then, the article said, the appearance of youth is to have ideals, dare to take responsibility, be able to endure hardships, and be willing to struggle. Establish a positive concept of employment and work in various fields such as rural revitalization, green development, social services, and defense of the country. In all aspects of work, strive to be the vanguard and new force. Does this passage sound like a propaganda of going to the mountains and going to the countryside? To put it bluntly, it is to encourage young people to go to the countryside to endure hardships, go to the frontier to stand guard, and go to fill in the radish pits that no one goes to, so as to reduce the unemployment problem in the cities. This logic echoes what Xi Jinping said in May this year, asking young people to seek hardship for themselves. At the end of the article, it said, going to the place where the motherland and the people need it most will not only leave a memory of youth without regret, but also gain spiritual wealth that will be used for life at the grassroots level. This paragraph was extracted as the subtitle. The paragraphs from the beginning and end echoes. A paragraph is said twice. The purpose is to achieve the subconscious implantation and persuasion effect of echo resonance. Well, this article by the party media, to put it bluntly, is that the Communist Party wants young people to be more conscious, either to go to the mountains and the countryside, or to obediently go to the factory to make screws and do low-end jobs, which is employment downgrade. Stop chasing your so-called ideals, or dreams, and stop being Kong Yi who can't take off his long gown. Only in this way can the problem of unemployment be alleviated and the destabilizing factor of the party's regime be alleviated. Unexpectedly, after this article was uploaded on Weibo, there was a serious car accident, and a large number of young netizens left comments criticizing or mocking the Communist Party's ignorance of the sufferings of the people. For example, some netizens pointedly said, "What age are you still shouting slogans to fool people? If you don't solve the problem, you blame the people for not working hard. Why don't you go to suffer?" Someone sarcastically said, 30 years ago, it was agreed that some people would get rich first, and then get rich first, and finally achieve common prosperity. 30 years later, those who got rich first have already become rich, and told others not to pursue. To become rich, we must establish a correct outlook on employment, and go to places where the motherland and the people need to shine. Well, there are a lot of criticisms from netizens, so we won't list them one by one. But what is certain is that this is a disaster internal propaganda that the CCP did not expect. Not only did it fail to achieve the goal of brainwashing and guidance, but it also deepened the contradiction and confrontation between the CCP and the younger generation. And, I think, several key takeaways emerge from this incident. The CCP is helpless to deal with unemployment and initiates ideological brainwashing. First of all, this article reflects that the CCP has no way to deal with the problem of youth unemployment, and has no choice but to launch ideological brainwashing methods, trying to guide young people to go to the countryside, or downgrade employment. Everyone knows that the Communist Party has a habit of often not being able to find a solution to a problem or being afraid to solve it, so they turn their heads to solve those who caused the problem or pointed out the problem. Therefore, this article by the party media is obviously the same logic. The party state cannot solve the unemployment problem of the people, so the people have become a security problem for the party state. Therefore, the party must use ideological brainwashing to help the people to do ideological reform and behavior guide. This just reflects the incompetence of the communist regime. The quality of people's education has improved. Second, we can see that the improvement of people's education quality has also made it more difficult for the Communist Party to brainwash. Most of the unemployed young people this time are graduates with college degrees, but they not only saw through the Communist Party's brainwashing by public opinion at a glance, but also fought back against the Communist Party with fists. For example, some netizens criticized the authorities just now, saying, "If you don't solve the problem, you blame the people for not working hard. If you want to suffer, why don't you go to suffer?" Some netizens responded sharply, "The biggest contradiction today is the contradiction between the people's growing IQ and backward routines." I think this sentence is very accurate, because in any totalitarian government system, what we hope most is that the people are ignorant and stupid, and what we fear most is that the people are rational and wise. The unemployed army that the CCP is facing now is a group of elites with high degrees of education, and they also have a wealth of internet experience. For the CCP, it can be said that it is the most difficult party-state enemy in history to reform its mind. The CCP's privileged system has caused disappointment and dissatisfaction among the people. Third, the main cause of young people's dissatisfaction and loss of hope is no longer unemployment or job demotion, but the CCP's privileged system. The party media told young people to cultivate a correct outlook on employment and go to the place where the motherland and the people need it most. Tobacco, electricity, oil, and civil servants in developed areas, these jobs. Because these jobs are the industries with the most oil and water, and have been monopolized by specific people for a long time. Some netizens criticized the People's Daily, saying, "For jobs like tobacco, petroleum, taxation, customs, etc., I often read your reports that 3 generations of a family work in the same position. I don't know if other ordinary people want to go in. And then 3 generations have worked in it successively, is that okay?" Some netizens specifically dug up the relevant reports of the party media. They were all reports of a father and son, or a family of 3 generations working in positions with stable jobs and lucrative jobs. In other words, what do these reports show? It shows that in the CCP system, those so-called good jobs have been given to the discretion of certain powerful people or certain families. They rely on the power in their hands, or rely on the connections behind them, or rely on power for money transactions, power sex transactions, so as to achieve the purpose of power rent-seeking. As for those college students or ordinary people who are honest and self-made, basically they can only be relegated to employment or go to the mountains and the countryside. In other words, these unemployed young people have seen that it is the CCP's privileged system that has solidified and rigidified the entire Chinese social structure, and even refeudalized the phenomenon of hereditary class. At the beginning, the CCP claimed to have liberated China and overthrew the mountain of feudalism. But in fact this mountain never fell, but a group of powerful people sat on the mountain to dominate. Therefore, China's feudal society has returned, China's social inequality has widened, and China's elite indecision has worsened. The CCP has ruled China for more than 70 years. Not only did it not bring about the disappearance of social classes, but it cut off the channels for the people to support themselves and move upward. A group of established interest groups with power monopolized China's wealth and good jobs. People with no power can't stand up. This social structure of class remanufacturing is the real main reason why young people lose hope for the future and choose to lie flat. Now, the brainwashing of the party media this time just shows that Chinese young people have become more and more disillusioned with the CCP's old routine of controlling the people, and they are less and less convinced of the CCP's party words, stereotypes and nonsense. The misery of unemployment brings uneasiness to young people, but it also brings awakening to young people. Unemployment has torn away the painted skin of the Communist Party, allowing more Chinese people to see clearly that the Chinese Communist Party is the most hypocritical, evil, and oppressive feudal dictatorship in Chinese history. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.